Fire, smoke, and shattered apartments in the dead of night. In southern Ukraine, Russian drones struck while families slept, killing 3 people in the Zaporizhia region and igniting a massive blaze inside a residential building. As firefighters battled flames through the darkness, more attacks followed. In central Ukraine's Dnipropetrovsk region, homes burned and 2 more people were injured. The night offered no refuge. This comes as Ukraine's president issues a stark warning. Vladimir Zelensky says intelligence shows Russia is preparing another large-scale aerial assault, potentially involving hundreds of drones and missiles, even as U.S.-led peace talks are set to resume this weekend. Ukraine has seen this pattern before. Previous barrages, some exceeding 800 drones in a single wave, have deliberately targeted the power grid, plunging cities into darkness. Zelensky warns that every strike undermines diplomacy. Every single Russian attack discredits the peace talks. Despite international condemnation, Russia's daily bombardment continues, striking civilian areas far from the front line nearly 4 years after the full-scale invasion began. In Brussels, Europe's top diplomat delivered a grim assessment. Josep Borrell says Ukraine is being pushed toward a humanitarian catastrophe. Russia, he says, is bombing civilians and trying to freeze them into surrender as temperatures plunge as low as -20 degrees Celsius or -4 degrees Fahrenheit, and power stations are knocked offline. They are bombing Ukrainians, trying to bomb and freeze them to surrender. Russia is targeting hospitals, schools, apartment buildings, critical infrastructure, energy infrastructure, in order to bomb and freeze Ukrainians into surrender, Borrell stated. Over the past month alone, Ukraine says Russia launched more than 6,000 drones, constantly upgrading both weapons and tactics, forcing Kyiv to rethink how it defends its skies. The human cost is staggering. An international think tank warns that by spring, the number of soldiers killed, wounded, or missing on both sides could approach 2 million, with Russia suffering its heaviest losses of any major power since World War II. Europe is now racing to respond. New sanctions are being prepared, emergency energy aid is being mobilized, and pressure is growing to tighten the chokehold on Russia's revenues. But as diplomats talk, the drones keep coming. In Ukraine, winter, war, and uncertainty are colliding, with civilians caught in between. Kremlin response on negotiations. Following the report, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov commented on the ongoing negotiations, contrasting Moscow's approach with that of Kyiv and Washington. Unlike the Ukrainians or the Americans, we do not publicly comment on negotiations that are meant to be conducted in confidential silence, Peskov stated. He criticized those making public statements about the talks as not very appropriate for proper negotiation practice and common decorum. When pressed on reports that 90% of an agreement was finalized, Peskov dismissed the question as unserious. He confirmed that Russian negotiators are engaged and certainly know what they are doing, adding that details would be revealed when everything is clear. Peskov reiterated Russia's core security concern, warning that if parts of Ukrainian territory continue to be used as a springboard for creating threats against the Russian Federation, then reliable peace would be impossible. He referenced the collective guarantees agreed on in Istanbul in April 2022, noting that the fundamental draft was actually proposed by the Ukrainian side and supported by Russia. He blamed the collapse of that deal on former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who he claimed prohibited them from signing the corresponding agreement. These guarantees ensured the collective nature of security, the indivisible nature of security, including the security of both the Russian Federation and the entire region where Ukraine is located, Peskov concluded, noting that Russia would focus on concrete proposals and not be swayed by public games.